Welcome to a more just and merciful world. I'm Kathy Humphrey, president of Carlow University. On this podcast, we talk to leaders, teachers, artists, scientists, and historians from around the globe to explore how to bring more just and mercy in our own world. Today, it is my pleasure to talk with FRZY, an Emmy award-winning rap artist who has broken the world record for the longest freestyle rap, which was 31 straight hours. We're going to talk about that, FRZY.
Yes, ma'am.
And FRZY has worked with one of Carlo's professors.
Yes.
You know, Dr. Jackie.
Dr. Jackie, my girl.
And she helped prepare you to get through those 31 hours. Dr. Jackie works with our speech language program here. And we're excited that she was able to assist you on that journey.
I was very honored, very honored.
Yes, and FRZY is a native of Pittsburgh.
Born and raised.
Right
up the street.
Right up the street, yeah. Pretty exciting. Mm-hmm. So, hometown guy.
Hometown guy, golden boy.
That's right.
I mean? Yeah.
That's right. And I am so pleased today to just get an opportunity to talk with you about this topic of how do we create a more just and a more merciful world. And, you know, FRZY, you have been probably around the world. I was going to say all over this country, but yes. I thought, oh no, I need to really broaden that to around the world. You have a good idea of what we're talking about because you've seen injustice.
Oh, aggressively. Yes.
Right?
In 4K.
And you've talked about.
Yes.
And you've rapped about.
Absolutely.
Injustice. And so let's start out with talking about, first of all, how did you come to rap? Of all of the genres,
right?
How did you start out with rap?
You know what? I would. That's a great question because I would love to be an R&B singer. I'm terrible. Can't sing at all. It's absolutely terrible. Except for like when I'm in the kitchen in my socks.
Okay.
I got a little Usher, a little Tyrese in me. My cat knows I can't sing, but you know, I always say it happened accidentally on purpose. I was going to school to college to play basketball. And also to be in intelligence. I was going into intelligence training to be a field agent. I used to rap for fun with my friends. You know, we used to freestyle around, nothing seriously. But they ended up signing me up for a contest without telling me to kind of be funny. And they called my name and I had to get up in front of these judges and rap, and I did good. I just freestyle.
Okay.
And I ended up winning the contest.
Wow.
And it really put me in the space. I worked with this producer named John Gore, who at the time was Christina Aguilera's producer, because she's from Pittsburgh as well. And they just sat down with me and were like, listen, you have a real talent, you're something special. If we can just kind of structure this thing and kind of teach you how to write a song and song patterns and cadence, then you could be something special. And you know, my father was all about no plan Bs. We don't do plan Bs. So whatever we choose to do, we become the best at that. And whatever else happens from that has to stem from that main source. So we don't throw things at the wall, we are the wall.
All right, now.
Right? So I leaned into it, and now I'm laying down in it.
Oh, that's great.
Yes.
So when I think about who you are,
yes,
where you come from.
Absolutely.
And then I am sitting in the audience, and you are rapping with the symphony.
We made history.
With the Pittsburgh Symphony, one of the best symphonies in the world.
Considered #1 now.
Right?
Right? Wow.
And you are rapping with them.
Dream come true.
Okay.
Crazy.
What was that like?
That was, I cried. I think I still cry. I mean, you saw me cry on stage. I got emotional. I grew up on Jay-Z, right? He was my role model, still is, and kind of set the precedent to what hip hop is and what that looks like. And I remember seeing him perform with the London Symphony at Albert Hall.
Okay.
And it was like a special feature you got when you pre-ordered the album. I think it was Kingdom Come. And I watched it and I remember thinking to myself as an artist, like, I want that. But in my mind, I'm like, I gotta be Jay-Z level to do that. That's no symphony is going, you know. And I realized being from here, and there's photos of me waiting underneath the marquee of Hines Hall for the bus in the rain, you know, just trying to never even have been in that hall. Now to have my name and lights on there and to have that place filled with diverse people and different cultures and everyone cheering out. It was unbelievable, and it really felt like, you know how some people say they have the pulse on you know, the pulse of society. They have their finger on the pulse of things. I felt like the two fingers, right? And I was there, and I understood the control and the power that I was given, and the responsibility that I was given to be in front of that world-class place that they believed in me. That predominantly white culture in that space, right? No one had ever cussed like that in there, and had people standing up like that. You know, they really trusted me in that space, and we set a tone.
Yeah.
That couldn't be harmonized, and it was just like this amazing. I still think back at posters on my wall hanging. People still talk about it, and now we're doing it with symphonies around the world.
Oh, wonderful!
We just had the Budapest Symphony.
Wow.
Record. So it just. I'm still floating on it, and that's where I met you.
That's right.
Which was insane to me.
That's
Shout out
right.
to the white outfits. They don't
That's
know
right.
about it.
That's
They'll see a
right.
picture. You know what I mean? They don't know about it. You can Google it. You know, we were in our white. Like, hold on.
That's right. We were at the Symphony Gala.
Right.
Passed each other. We were the only ones who had on white
We were
that
the
night.
only ones that had on white.
Right.
I looked at you. I was like, oh my
Hey,
God.
right.
Your outfit's white and your skin's black. Wait a second. That don't match the air in here.
Yes.
But just having that conversation, and it really, to be honest with you, meeting you, running into you there at that gala, where I was there to not only meet people, but to pitch the show, right? To let the higher ups know that it was okay, that it was safe, that I was not just a rapper, but a well-educated young man that had earned this position, that this wasn't a favor, it wasn't a handout. And then to be in that room where it was a sea of privilege in a way, to look over and to see you and to go, wow, okay, there's someone who's been in this room, to see the level of respect that you got and the grace that you walked in, and to see that we both wore white, right? Because it wasn't a funeral where everybody else had black on, it was a celebration.
That's right. That's right. So some would say that your journey was a bit impossible.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? That how in the world could you even begin to dream that you could?
Right. How dare I?
How dare you?
How dare I?
Even dream
the
of
audacity,
right? Something different. And when I think about this whole notion of creating a more just and merciful world, most people think it's a dream.
Yeah.
Most people think it's an impossibility.
Right.
Chart out the steps. Right. You conquered the impossible.
Right. Right.
And if you think about how do you conquer the impossible? How do you dream beyond what you've seen as a real reality for you? Yeah, he did it as an anomaly, but...
And that's what I think I get a lot of, right? Is that like, well, he's special. So, of course, FRZY did it. He's exceptional within the culture, right? But I think for me, I always say I try to walk with heavy footprints, heavy steps to make deep footprints so that they know exactly the way that I went.
Right.
I'm trying to bat a whole bakery. I'm not just trying to drop breadcrumbs. Right. I wanted to be very easy for Hansel and Gretel to follow. But
That's good.
But I'm a wordsmith. That's what I do. My job is to break down words. My job is to be the master of ceremonies. And I think when I look at impossible, it spells I'm possible. That's literally what it spells. And I take impossible as a, how should I say it? I take it as a compliment. Because if someone says that to me, that means that they expect me to do it. And I kind of like, I grew up on those wristbands that said, what would Jesus do? Remember those? I think I still got like 3 of them. And they still stretch. I don't know what they made out of, but they don't break. They don't break. Shout out to the manufacturer. But I do want to get with something to say, FRZY did it. Because I want to be the excuse to be great.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And I want people to look at that, and the steps are really to understand what you're capable of. I'm my #1 fan. The conversations that I have with myself every morning, I set the bar for the conversations I have for the rest of the day.
Yes.
You're gonna have to talk to me better than me.
Right.
Like, right? So
let's stop right there for 1 second.
Yeah.
Right, because I really believe in self-talk.
Oh, yes.
Right, and so basically, what you just said is, in order to do the impossible, first you have to tell yourself.
Right.
Right.
It's the most important.
And so every day you're telling yourself what FRZY can do.
Oh, exactly. The expectation. And then at the end of the day, telling myself how proud I am for accomplishing it, for acknowledging the mistakes, from learning from it. I always break it down to people. I call it hunting in a way, right? I hunt success. And I work for the reaction And because to me, the conversations you never hear are the most important ones when I leave that room. And also having that understanding of, for one, we're all human, right? Though I'm trying to do superhuman things, I am human. And to go, most of the people in these industries, whether it's music or even in the symphony world, are deciding what I can do and they can't do what I do. You know what I mean? So it's like most of the, and shout out to the ESPN commentators, I love them, Stephen A. and all of them, but they never play basketball, but they'll tell you who the best basketball player is.
Right.
You know? Right. And I think that that's what we deal with in this world a lot, is a lot of people telling you, you can't do something, but they've never even failed at it. So I have to remember that when I go, because that's my job. My job is to make people believe in me, make people like me. I'm the soundtrack to a lot of people's day. So I have to be relatable, but also inspiring. And it's hard to do, but if I can inspire myself, then I'm unstoppable.
Absolutely. So we start out by talking to ourselves. And making sure we believe in who we are and our own capacities.
Absolutely.
Then I heard you say you have to examine what are your capacities.
Right, and understand what you're going for.
And what you're going for.
Right.
And then what comes next? So I'm talking really good to myself.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm speaking life.
Smiling.
I'm smiling.
Smelling
speaking
good.
Light,
absolutely.
Right? I believe in this, right? A lot. Right? Because there's many mornings I look in the mirror and I smile at myself first. I get the first smile of the day.
Great smile too, by the way. Great smile.
And then you said, so we've got I believe in myself. I understand what my talent is. And then how do I execute? How do I take the step?
I create a pattern of greatness. So a routine, right, of greatness. I go, okay, I know that every morning I start out with 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups. I'm in the gym every night, but I end my night with 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups because I know that my body is my vessel. That's my weapon. So I need that thing to be as sharp as possible. So it's a routine. I know that gives me guaranteed results as far as how I'm feeling. Take my vitamins. I'm doing these things. These are things that I'm doing isolated. They have no audience.
Right.
Then once I know that I'm going out, I'm practicing perfection. That's what I think people just like, oh, practice makes perfect. No, I'm practicing perfection.
That's good.
You know what I mean? So now anytime I walk in a room, people know they're getting the most of me. They're getting 100% in anything that I do because I care. And understanding that making people feel good feels good. So now I'm like, okay, boom, my day's starting. I got that going on. Now I see my mission. I see my list. Right, I have my missions. Okay, today I know that I want to accomplish this phone call, or I need to do this. And I love planning. I love patience. Patience is like, literally to me, patience feels so good. It's like an aphrodisiac because I'm like, okay, I know. Oh, I'll give you a good example. I'll use this. I'm gonna make it short, but I'm gonna give you a quick little idea.
Okay.
I know for myself, I want to do something with Carlo. Okay, that's where my mind's at. I want to do something with Carla. Now, I know people who work here, but all the people I know who work here answer to someone else who answers to someone else. So now I know I got to get 3 yeses before I even get to Dr. Humphrey's, right? That's what I got to do. Now, that's the hard way to do it. It's the easiest way to do it because I'll get recommendations every way up, or I can get straight to you. But getting to you is the hard part. That's the playing the video game on hard as soon as I start the game. But I can also do something that's so impressive that it puts me in the room with Dr. Humphreys. So I can become this amazing 3rd rapper in history to win an Emmy Award, break a world record, get a day named after me in the city, throw the first pitch, have a TED Talk with me, have a street named after me. I can do all these things, which then make the #1 symphony in the world go, we want to do a show with you. Then it gives them the confidence to go, hey, Frizz, you know what? Can you show up at this gala because we think you're handsome, we think you're charismatic, we think that people want to meet you because you're a celebrity and you're going to make us look good. This is the #1 symphony in the world. Goes, can you come to this event and show off for us? And I go, absolutely.
So you're saying the next piece is I've got to position myself.
Right, that's right. I got to position myself.
I got to put myself in the right spaces in order for impossibility to occur.
It's the only way you catch the ball, right? The quarterback can throw it. If I'm in the right place, I'm not missing that thing, right? But then I got to catch it. So now they put me in that room, and guess who I run into in that room?
How about that?
I run into Dr. Humphrey.
How about that?
Directly, because she's already done enough greatness in her life that she's in that room. You know what I mean? And then that's how our worlds collide. And then, so it's placement, it's understanding where you're going to be, and also being humble enough to know that this is what I tell myself every day, there's a new ear that's born every single day. So no matter how dope I am, no matter how many Grammys I win or Emmys I win, there's always going to be somebody on the planet who's never heard of me. It's always going to be a baby. And I'm trying to have the music where the mom puts it on the stomach.
Right.
I want a fan before you even come out. You know what I'm saying? C-section or otherwise. I need, I need baby groupies.
Right.
And they scream already, so I ain't even got to say scream.
So we're in a world right now where, there's a lot of concern about justice.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of concern about how we treat each other as humans, how we treat the least of them.
Yes.
So you've been given a lot.
I have to. Yeah.
And because you have so much talent and so many, been given so many opportunities, nobody gets here by themselves.
No, not at all.
Right? You get here because you walk into the door of opportunity, right?
Yes, you do.
And so you have walked into the door of opportunities on many, many, many occasions.
Yep.
Where'd you get the courage from?
Because I know what I deserve. Right? I'm not cocky, I'm convinced. So I'm in those spaces because I know I'm supposed to be in these spaces. And I walk in those spaces not only feeling like I'm the best one in the room, but that I want to make other people better than me in the room. So I walk in the best and I leave humble. Right? And
so that notion of, I have to feel good about me so I can help you feel good about you.
Right. And then you become a better, like if I'm the best, my job is to make you better than me. That's right? Like I'm a light bulb. Yes, I have electricity flowing through me. I am the source of electricity. But the reason the reason you do great in that room is because I light it up. So I light up that room and then you go.
And in spite of everything that's going around us, why do you still have hope? Why do you still believe we can create this more just and merciful world? And what's your part in it? What's your part in creating this more just and merciful world?
I'm so much about legacy. I think, and to jump back on I'm going to hit a couple points of what you said. One of my big role models, when somebody asks me whether they're religious or not, I'm not super duper religious, I'm spiritual more so, but is Jesus Christ. Not because of the cross and everything that comes with that, but because he's probably the only person in existence that the people who hate him know more about him than the people who love him. And that we dictate time off of his existence, right? Like BC, like, oh, that's crazy. I need a BF, right? And I got a lot of best friends. So, but to think about it, and I have a line in a song where I go, if I walk on water, they'll say it's because I can't swim. That the evidence of miracles still doesn't give faith. So I go, okay, that's fine. I'm going to check off every list that you have consistently, and then I'm going to make you into the thing you think can exist. And what gives me hope is that I can continuously see people believing in me, because people want something to believe in. They just don't want to be the one people don't believe in. So they would rather me stand on the front lines for them and take those hits and nurture me instead of feeling that pain themselves. And I want that pain though. I want that pressure. I want that job. And to me, if I can make one kid smile, or it blew my mind. I had a kid message me. He was maybe 14 years old. And he goes, hey FRZY, I just want to let you know, my mom, I've never been to Hines Hall. My mom brought me to the show and I videotaped it and I've watched that video all the time, and I'm going to be with the symphony one day. And I thought that was me watching the Jay-Z video, right? So I know it works. So no one can tell me it doesn't work. And as long as I can push through that, as long as I can quiet down the bullies or be that person, and that's one of the things that comes with working out, right? Taking care of myself, that when I walk in a room, physically, you're not going to disrespect anybody. Mentally, you're not going to disrespect anybody. Spiritually, you're not going to disrespect somebody. So I got to work hard enough to have the credentials and the resume to make my presence and what I'm saying make sense. And no one can tell you
It's
wrong.
interesting because, this whole notion of Jesus being that role model for you. I am super religious.
Yes.
And I am super, I'm Christian extraordinary.
I
here.
am. I got the Lord's Prayer on my chest.
Right.
Yeah.
But I do think Jesus does provide an incredible example of courage.
Absolutely.
Of standing up for what you believe is good and right.
Yep.
No matter what's all around you, no matter what the consequence it is,
Come on.
is that I'm going to stand for what I believe is good and right. And I do believe that there is a lot to that.
Yeah.
And how you do build your own self up when you're willing to stand regardless.
And caring about others.
Yes.
Right? That's the big thing about Jesus, is caring about others. When I pray, I do my thank yous, of course. But then the last part of my prayers is asking God what they did today. How are you feeling? What did you create that I'll never see? And how does,
I think that's so important what you're bringing about, this care for others.
Care for others.
Our willingness to say, I've got some responsibility here. I've been given a lot. I say to our students all the time, to whom much is given, much is required. Right? And so it's a true blessing to be able to be the giver. Because you could be the person who needed to be to the receiver, right?
Right.
So the power of being the giver oftentimes is what helps us to create this more just and merciful world.
Right. I say you can be, if you gifted, be okay with cookies.
Right. Absolutely. So tell us what's coming down the pipe. What's coming down the pipe for FRZY?
We working, right? A lot of big things are going on. As people have seen everywhere now, I'm officially the headliner for CBS's first night.
That's awesome.
For New Year's, we're going to bring down a house.
Yes.
I'm so excited. It's about an hour and some change set.
Wow.
And I'm going to make the theme of it just Pittsburgh boy comes home.
How about that?
Celebrate the city, celebrate this new year we're going into, which is really exciting. I'm on the cover of Table Magazine right now, which is unbelievable. So humbled.
That's great.
It's in everywhere that stores are, magazines are sold in the stores.
Right. It must be something to see yourself when you walk by.
It's crazy. I'm still a groupie for myself.
Right.
Like I'm still that guy that's gonna go in there and buy every magazine and then hand it out. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, this is crazy to see myself.
Right.
I think I never
at the grocery store.
At the grocery store. I'm just here to get potatoes. That's it. Oh, that's me? Like what I like doing is like going somewhere and then like somebody's in that aisle and I like drop something on the ground accidentally. I'll try to create my own like romantic comedy. I'm like, oh. They're like, oh, can I help you with that? I'm like, yeah. And then they double look. They're like, is that you? I'm like, oh. I'm just here to get some cat food. That's me. And they're like, what do you do? And I'm like, let me tell you, right. And then the music starts playing, the intro starts.
Right, the music starts.
Yeah.
Right.
But, FRZY Day is coming up.
Okay.
Which is, January 11th, and the city is named that day after me, and we celebrate it every year. And every year I do something to bring charity. We've already raised over $2 million.
That's awesome.
And this year we have something really big that'll be announced on FRZY Day. Of course, I'll tell you off camera.
That's great.
So that's going to be happening.
If you're raising $2 million, I just need you to know Carlo needs money.
Okay, true.
And the next time.
Facts.
Okay,
Facts.
good.
You know what I'm saying?
I just needed to slide that in there.
Well, I appreciate that. I'm glad you said something because shout out to my boy John. He's behind the scenes. His suit's mean. That's a mean suit he got on.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? Not that I was looking, but if you want to learn that.
And I say that because oftentimes people don't think that about a university, but this is a different kind of university. This is a university that provides opportunities to those who otherwise wouldn't have.
Come on.
And because of that, all the help we can give to that student who used to be homeless,
yes.
to that student who used to be in the foster care student, to that student whose parents never dreamed or imagined that they could be in at a university.
Right.
Support is great, but also to that student who's trying to get to a higher place.
Come on.
Right?
We got to provide steps.
It's right.
Exactly. And that's what I'm here for. That's why my answer when it comes to charity or comes to universities or comes to helping to raise money, I'm always going to say yes. Because I'm blessed in a situation to be able to be a source that people with money trust to give to something I'm attached to.
Right.
So yeah, well, let me just say this. Coming up soon, y'all don't know what it is yet. I don't know what it is yet, but we about to get some Carlo money in
there
here.
You go.
You see me with the sweatsuit on. You know what I'm saying? You don't think
I know you're sporting that Carlos sweatsuit, you know, and you're looking dapper.
it hit different,
there,
you know?
right?
It is
hit
royal
different.
purple.
It's royal. It's royal.
You know what I'm saying? It's merciful.
Trimmed in gold. Don't forget
I
that.
saw that.
Trimmed in
And you
gold.
know it got gold in it. Come on. Y'all know the song.
Yes, that's right. So as we close,
Yes.
everybody can't be frizzy. Everybody can be great.
Right.
Everybody can't be frizzy. What message would you leave for young people who are trying to become the best they can be at whatever they're trying to be?
Man, that's a great question. The message I would give to them and the students that are listening to this and the person that's driving in their car and got it turned up because they're subscribed is I always say, this is going to sound super corny, but I always say, be water. Right? Not to sound like Bruce Lee, but be water. Figure out a way to fit into the mold that you want, but decide who you want to be. Right? Get to know your purpose alone. Don't let somebody else tell you what you have to be or what they want you to be.
So good.
Get to know your purpose alone. Build that bond with it, and then map out how to get there. For me, statistically, I come from a place where I'm not supposed to be here. I'm not supposed to make it, and if someone does make it, they're not supposed to look like me. And in our culture, dealing with not only that, but society, colorism, everything above it, I would say understand exactly what you have to do and do it. I have a lot of great mentors. I have a lot of great people that have helped me, including yourself. So one of my big messages is if you're not asking for help, your dreams aren't big enough.
That's so good.
Right? So don't be scared to ask for help.
So true.
Right? Because no one's gotten here alone. And like we were just talking about Jesus, and no one would know that story if it wasn't for the apostles. So, right? So, have your group, understand who's with you. And when people ask you what you bring to the table, tell them you're a carpenter.
That's good.
Yeah. So be a carpenter.
Be a carpenter. Yeah. Well, it's been awesome to talk with you today.
I'm
looking forward to January 11th.
Yeah, it's coming.
I'm going to go get my copy from the grocery store.
Yeah.
Table magazine.
Yeah. If somebody drop a potato by you, just help them pick it up. Help them pick it up. It might look like me. You know what I'm saying?
Thanks a lot for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.
And most of all, thank you for helping us to create a more just and merciful world.
Always and forever.